Melody Hurt and her daughter are being chased by an enraged driver in an El Camino. They've already been struck once from behind. In fear for their lives, Melody looks for any way to escape.
So I saw a driveway and pulled into the driveway and leaned on my horn as loud as I could. And no one came out.
But for now, Melody seems to have lost her tormentor.
Please. I think that's it. I think he's gone.
Oh my God, Mom.
It felt like something out of a horror movie.
Oh my God, Mom, he's here! He's here, Mom!
Melody races away onto the narrow road. But a minute later, Harper swerves to the right and positions his car next to her daughter.
He was able to get all the way to the right and she could see him. When he did that, I was panicked.
Melody is forced into the wrong side of the road, helpless as her daughter Erica screams in terror.
She was out of her seatbelt, screaming, "Where's my dad? I want to go home." All I could tell her was, "Please get down on the floor. Please get down on the floor." At one point, he got up on the driver's side, almost even with my window, and I just saw glimpses of him. He was motioning something and yelling. His eyes were just very scary.
He's not.
Her daughter is in a state of absolute panic.
I'd never seen that kind of fear in her. I'd never seen her that afraid.
Suddenly, Melody realizes she's nearing a main road. Acting on instinct, she guns her engine at a curve and races ahead of her pursuer.
So he ended up having to drop back behind me. I stepped on my gas pretty hard because I knew I was getting close to where more people would be.
She turns into the first big parking lot she comes to, and after 10 minutes of sheer terror, the El Camino disappears into the busy street.
Erica, look at me. Breathe. I'm here. He's gone. He's gone.
She kept saying, she kept thinking he'd come back. He's gonna come back, Mom.
Melody runs to call her husband, Rob, a San Diego police detective. He arrives a few minutes later. After calming his traumatized family, Rob calls the sheriff's office. Danny Palm is horrified by Melody's story, but also optimistic for the first time in months that his objective of locking up John Harper Jr. is within reach.
That's an assault with a vehicle, then.
In his mind, there's no question that what John Harper did was assault Melody Hurt and her daughter with the car. And he realizes that this could resolve the issue with John Harper Jr. And that's his hope.
Carol! Carol!
Melody writes up an incident report, and Danny calls local DA Kelly Hansen.
John Harper actually did something he'd never done before. Although nobody was hurt, he actually struck her car. And at that time, the DA's office said, okay, look, we need to do something about this guy.
On June 30th, 1995, John Harper Jr. is arrested, and the charge is serious: felony assault. For Danny and his friends, Harper's arrest seems like the beginning of the end.
We gotta put this guy away. Definitely.
The neighborhood felt like they'd gotten their man. Dan knew the law, and all the work was gonna come to fruition.
Ridiculous. Yeah. We'll get him out of our community. Yeah.
Despite the serious charges, the day after John's arrest, he's free on bail. His trial date is not for months. It's the first time John has ever been accused of a violent crime, but not the first time he's faced prison.
When he was 17, he was convicted of burglary, and he went to a Soledad prison, which is one of the most severe prisons in California.
John served 2 years. When he came home, his sister could see that the experience had changed him forever.
The youthful, tanned, strong brother that I knew was now gray and very sad looking.